product. It's just a product of the circumstances.
Yeah.
Okay, so why should we punish someone that had no control over their actions?
Well, because we have no control in punishing them either. We don't have control on that
No,
either.
but that's is it moral to is it the right thing to punish them or not?
Absolutely. Even if they had no control,
If they had no control,
punish them on that.
if someone has no control over doing something, you still think it's right to punish them? If they had no choice in the matter.
In that deterministic sense, they were always going to do that choice. They had a choice, but they were always destined to do that choice. So absolutely, yes.
Wait, no, sorry. What did you say? They always had that choice. No, I don't agree. They always had that choice. Not from your perspective.
No, absolutely. They were, determined to do that choice, and they did the choice.
They are simply a product of their circumstances.
And we're determined to punish them for it. Absolutely, yes.
No. So we're not. We don't know if we're determined to punish them for it. We could get up tomorrow and decide we're not going to punish them.
No,
that's entirely possible.
So I don't believe that's the case. I'm a determinist. So
What
I
do you
don't
mean?
believe that's the case. I don't believe that we can wake up and not punish them for it because I'm a determinist. So I believe that you'd have to.
No. But you don't know that. That's an assumption you've made.
No, I mean, there's evidence for determinism. We're getting into the free will.
No, I'm not asking you for evidence for determinism. I'm asking you, how do you know that we can't just get up one day and decide not to punish them? That's just an assumption you made. We're not. You don't know if we're determined.
We don't have a choice. How do you know that they do have a choice to not do what they do? Are you deterministic?
Wait.
So much for the roses, Toby.
My theology is consistent. Where I'm currently doing an internal critique of your theology. Can we stick to that, please?
You believe in determinism or free will?
I don't believe in determinism. I believe in. Hold on. Let me finish.
So how do you know that choice? Thank you so much for the ice cream, Rich.
Let me finish. I believe in compatibilism, which is the.
That's a subset. Compatibilism is a subsect of free will. It's called soft determinism, essentially, and that it can be affected, but you still have a choice. So it's still a subsect of free will. So you believe in free will, just that things.
Yeah, to some extent. Yeah, go on.
Okay, fatalism is basically my view, and it's hard determinism. So again, you believe that they would. I guess we just disagree on this point. I don't think that they would.
But you believe we should punish people that have no control over whether or not they do something.
They have control, but they were determined to do the actions that they did.
No, because they are simply a product of their environment, simply a product of the things that came before them. So why are we punishing them for the things they do?
We are also a product of our environment, and we're determined to punish them.
No, but you don't know that.
Again, now we're getting into the free will determinism debate. Are you asking how true it is?
No, we're not. What do you mean? We're not talking about free will at all. It's like we're talking about your worldview, which believes in a causal chain, and in this causal chain, no one has a say in what they do. You're saying that
they do, but they're determined. Their say is determined.
No, because their actions are simply a product of their environment. There is no way for them.
Things aren't mutually exclusive. They can be a product of their environment and be determined to do certain acts. So they're product of their environment.
That's the same.
And we're determined to punish them for those acts.
Okay, but the second point that you've made, right, is a prediction of the future. The first point is the difference is the first point is something that's already happened. They've done the act. The second point is a prediction of the future. We don't know that.
No,
because you don't know how the events line up.
That's consistent in my worldview, and now you're going to get how true is free will? Okay, we can get into the free will determinism argument. There's arguments that go either way.
I'm not trying to get into the free will determinism argument. I'm trying to
understanding. Sir, let me help you. Just listen. It is perfectly consistent in my view. I'm saying yes, we are determined to punish them as well. Just like they're determined to do that act, it was always determined that we would punish them for that act. It's no inconsistency in what I'm saying.
How do you know we're determined to punish them?
How do you know we aren't?
I'm not making the claim.
No, but you disagree with determinism. So you're making.
You made the claim. Prove it.
You just said that you are compatibilist.
Well, how do I know they aren't? Because God said so. Because my religion is true. That's why. How would you know they're not?
Now you've made another claim. Your religion.
But now you're attacking. But now we're switching topics. Back to my. I'm doing an internal critique of your theology. I'm doing internal critique of your belief system, and you're switching to.
I'll add you back on. Join back MBSMX. But this dude did subscribe, and I did say I'd add him on. So I do want to have him say what he has said. If you do subscribe, you get course priority. Hey, what do you want to debate?
Okay. So, touching on what a guy said earlier, yeah, and you asked him for where the source is, and here's the source. Oh wait, fuck. Okay. It's not letting me go off to Safari, but the claim was that soya beans.
Just tell me what it is. I'll type it in.
The claim is that soya beans destroy trees. Okay, and basically, I looked it up. It's a simple Google search. It's literally like on a website called the Green Space thing, and it's saying that I think the percentage was 90% of trees are destroyed for soya bean farms. Okay. Now, let me ask you a question.
What's the site called?
There's not a study. I literally just looked it up on Google and it says there straight up.
Well, do you have a study? Because studies are important because it depends on how biased.
Oh, bro, you're waffling, man. Come on, you just look it up.
Yeah, what do I want me to look up?
Okay, just look up, do soybeans destroy trees?
Do soybeans destroy trees? Okay.
Look up on Google and see what the first thing comes up.
It says, yes, so production can destroy trees and contribute to deforestation. And I'm asking, is there a source for this?
Bro, you're reading the source.
Wait, no.
You're reading the source.
The way it works is there's an AI overview. An AI overview is basically Google looking for an amalgamation of different sources and saying it. So the first one is Greenpeace UK. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to click on that site. Again, Greenpeace is that doesn't necessarily constitute as a source.
What do you mean that doesn't constitute as a source? You've looked it up. It's a source.
Again, not everything. You think everything you look up is a source? Everything that appears on the internet is a source? That's not the case whatsoever.
Okay, Joe, find that Greenpeace's source then. Look down and see where this has come from. Because the information must come from somewhere. It's not just put out of thin air.
May not be a peer-reviewed source. And so, again, this isn't necessarily
source. Well, it's not been plucked out of thin air. It's not been plucked out of thin air. It's the first thing you look up.
How do you know that?
How do you know that any of your sources aren't plucked out of thin air? No, it's on there for a reason.
And they're peer-reviewed.
No, you're steering away. Okay, let's be...
It's a charity.
Okay, I can't speak.
Just listen. Greenpeace is a charity, okay? It's
that makes it even more credible.
Not a source for...
if it's a charity, that makes it more credible because it's a flipping charity.
No, not necessarily.
Why would a charity be spreading misinformation? Why? It's a charity.
Then it's not to do with whether it's to do with that. It's just an article and it's not a peer-reviewed source.
Okay, so why would a charity lie?
That's a good question. They may have many motives, financial motives.
So you're saying the charity's lying?
Pardon?
So you're saying the charity's lying? Can you prove that?
There's a chance they could be lying. Again.
Can you prove that?
Okay, give me a moment. I don't believe from the sources I know. I don't believe it does.
Okay. Listen. Okay, listen. Okay, regardless if it's true or not, let's say if it is true, because most likely it is true. But let's say in the argument it is true. Okay, let's say for the argument this is true. I paid for this, so listen. Let's say if this is true. Okay, can you listen to me, please? Can you listen? So let's say for the argument this is true. Okay, now if someone goes to buy soybeans from the supermarket, is the person responsible for those trees being destroyed? Yes or no?
Would you say?
So, let's say that soybeans being farmed causes deforestation. Now, if someone goes to the supermarket and buys soybeans, is that person responsible for deforestation directly? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Technically, in that sense, yes.
Okay, so is someone that goes to the supermarket and buys meat from the store responsible for the death of that animal?
Yes.
What?
Yes, I said if you go and buy soybeans, in this case, you'll be contributing. But I'm not saying...
So that means that veganism is no different to, let's say, killing an animal.
Far less. 70% of crops are grown to feed the animals that you eat.
But so a tree is different. A tree is a living organism, my friend.
Yes, but it doesn't feel pain.
And technically, so you think that killing a tree is no worse than killing an animal?
Absolutely.
I think it should be the same. I think it should be the same level, right? Because they're both living organisms.
No, I don't value all life forms the same. I think sentient life is very important. I value sentient life because I believe that sentient life is far more...
But it's still life. But life is still life, man.
Yes, but I value sentient life more. Would you save let me ask you a question. Would you save a plant from dying or a human being? If you had a choice, who would you save?
Well, okay, I would save a human just because it's the same race as me, okay? That's why we don't eat humans. But an animal is not a human.
Okay, let's say a dog or a tree. A dog or a plant. Which one would you save?
Okay, so probably I would save the dog. But listen. Can I ask you another question? No, you've asked me a question. Let me ask you one. Now, listen. What would you say? Would you rather save a dog or all the trees? Like, if all the trees were to die or just one dog, which one would you save more?
In this case, I would rather save all the trees, but in this case...
Why?
That's not the basis of it.
Okay, but tell me why. I'm asking another question. Why would you save the trees?
If we look at the overall harm and benefit, the risk and benefit, it's far more beneficial to save all the trees for human beings. And so in this case, with eating meat, however, it's not more beneficial. 70% of crops are grown to feed the animals that you eat. And so essentially what you should want to do to be sustainable is to not eat the animals and not have them all used on the animals.
I get that, but in this case, it's not just one tree that dies. When soya beans are doing things in that study, it says 90% of all the trees in that area make a farm.
That's not a reputable source, and it doesn't say that. I'm looking at the website. It doesn't say that whatsoever.
Okay, I may have read it wrong because it didn't let me go back to the website. But
even
regardless, a lot of trees are dying because of soya beans, which is life. Okay. So to say that veganism is affecting going vegan is like affecting the world because it's killing animals. Well, vegan affects the world as well because most of it does.
No. And even in the case where I said that soy is specifically fine, we don't consume that. There's still pasta, beans, lentils. There's still plenty of other vegan foods.
Yeah, and they still affect the same way, I'm sure. If I looked it up,
no, they don't. They actually don't. And think about it.
If I had a chance to look into it, I only looked up.
1 second, my dear boy. Just listen. 70% of plants are used to feed these innocent animals that you're slaughtering for your food. So it's unsustainable. You're hurting far more. I'm not saying we'll hurt absolutely none. We need to consume something, but you're harming far more. That's the point.
How do you rate that? Because loads of trees, I think loads of trees get destroyed
far more hurt when eating animals. Sir, what do you think the animals eat that you eat?
Sorry?
What do you think the animals that you eat? What do you think they eat?
Well, they eat meat. Most animals eat meat, like we do.
No, the 90 billion a year that you're slaughtering in unaliving in gas chambers. What do you think that they eat?
Well, okay, so they do eat a plant-based diet, yes.
Exactly. So 70% of crops are used to eat those animals. To feed those animals, it's not sustainable. 30% are used to feed us. The 70% are used to feed those animals. So essentially, what you'd acknowledge is that to be more sustainable is that we should eat the plant-based foods directly rather than eating the animals that eat them, because it takes far more crops to grow meat than it does if we eat it directly.
Okay, I get that, but to say that the person the consumer that's buying it from the supermarket bears responsibility for the death
of. You're not paying for it. You're financially supporting it. You're basically subsidizing it. So you're absolutely.
Then I can say that you eating soybeans supports the deforestation. Can you concede that?
I think it's a lot less sustainable. You'd have to compare net utility.
No, you're going away from it now.
Yes, you have to compare net utility, and if you look it up, look up this. Is plant-based diets more food environmentally friendly? It says yes, plant-based diets are more environmentally friendly than animal-based diets. You can look this up. There's plenty of sources.
But when I say that soybeans affect deforestation, which affect the world.
Even a source from Harvard School of Public Health. Give me a moment. Healthy plant-based diets are better than the environment. This is a source from Harvard. It's got
on the grand scheme of things.
Hold on 1 second. And the study was supported by the National Institute of Health.
Listen, on the grand scheme of things, it may be better, but still, there is still affecting the environment. It's still affecting the environment by soybeans, meaning that no one wins.
Okay, sir. I mean, no, I don't know how many times I can say it to you. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you subscribing. I guess with subscription, you have a priority, so you'll automatically be first on any stream. So if you guys also want to subscribe, it helps go a long way. And feel free to support the stream. And we'll discuss it another time. But do double tap the screen, everyone. Anyway, appreciate that. Appreciate the subscription. But I'm gonna do a couple more people and then I might end the live. Hey, what do you want to debate?
Hi, good evening.
What do you want to debate?
Right, I've got a couple of things I'd like to talk about. Evolution as a fact. How is your basis on that?
You believe evolution is a fact?
Yeah, what's your basis? What?
Observe it. We can observe it. We have evidence for it. We can observe it through bacteria, fossils, DNA. We can observe how evolution occurs, bacteria, if we want to see it with our eyes. But we also have evidence in mammals and other animals as well. We can literally look at it with DNA, fossils. We can observe missing links and reconstruct animals that existed in the past. And we know evolution is a fact. We know biologically how speciation occurs with mutations and in DNA with the adenine, guanine thymine and cytosine, and we see how they're changed and how different proteins are formed and how they affect beings phenotypically. But that's getting very into the nitty-gritty of biology.
But basically, you believe that we come from some type of monkey or some type of ape, from primates type of thing. You believe?
Yeah, if we look at it, it's Homo afarensis, I believe. Luca, last universal common ancestor for people, was found in Africa. Homo habilis, Homo afarensis. I'm trying to think. We are Homo sapiens, Neanderthals. Yeah, there's others.
So in 2024, how is there no other monkey or ape that has evolved to human capabilities of conscious thought?
Okay, sir. Let me ask you a question here. I will answer that question, but I feel this question will answer it for you. Let me ask you this. If Americans came from British people, how come British people still exist?
Okay, well, if you want to say that Americans come from British people, the fact is that we all come from Africa.
Sir, that's not an answer to the question. The question was, if Americans come from British people, how come British people still exist?
Because we were the colonialists of the time.
Okay, let me answer it for you since you're intellectually. Sir, just listen. Sir, just listen. The point is that just because we took separate evolutionary paths doesn't mean that we're the end goal, okay? Americans came from British people, British colonies in the 1700s, moved to America with Christopher Columbus to get more resources, and essentially they, form what we know as the United States of America. But Britain still exists, okay? So the same with evolution and apes is we evolved into Homo sapiens, some evolved into chimps with the family genus of Pan. Just because we evolved different ways doesn't mean we're the end goal that they want to evolve into. That's the whole.
Yeah, I'll accept that argument because that's acceptable. Do you know that chimps eat meat?
And okay.
Baboons eat meat. Monkeys eat meat. It's not just.
Just because the monkeys do it doesn't mean we have to do it as well. That's the point. All right, double.